I mean, yeah, we're just gonna sign like Jude Bellingham next year, and and then put him back there, and or put him in the mid, and we'll be fine.
We'll get it. Keep all we have to do. That's all we have to do.
We'll be fine.
We'll be fine. You're gonna love this.
I want to hear it. I'm objective. You're critical.
Anico at the disco.
He's positive. Join the Mixtape 615.
Today, tomorrow, yesterday.
It is the dopest supporter group in all of Nashville.
Forever. Yo, is this thing on? Testing. 1, 2, and of course 3. Check this out, man. We are the Mixtape 615, and this is the place to be for Nashville Soccer Club fans. If you love Nashville and all of its soccer ways, or you're just trying to learn a little something more, then we want you right now. We want you in the mix. We want everybody in the mix. Check this out. It's your boy Tunji, aka, and you know what's coming next, aka Young Turtle, aka the Soccer Face, SF Doom, the Big Kahuna, and the Little Tuna Sandwich, Steam Papi, Yamame Steam Papi, also known as Mr. Too Lit on a Wednesday night because it's half off Whiskey Wednesdays at Southside Kitchen and Pub. And guess what? I just got a paycheck. I just got a paycheck, aka I'm sipping on these Mai Tais in this beach in Belize, feeling cool like a summer breeze. Yo, I'm also the cleanest pair of I also hold on.
Also
let me back up. I am also the dude with the cleanest pair of Jordan 1s that you ever did see, and they know me as the golden boy with the golden voice. And check this out. One more. Drum roll, please. New AKA. Call me Chicago. This is Chicago Mike, all right? The Chicago Mike from the West Side, okay? And I only eat mustard on my conies because I'm Chicago Mike from the West Side.
Oh my goodness.
And this is a Mixtape 615 podcast, y'all. Hey, Awesome. Can you tell them who you are?
What's up, y'all? I am Austin. I didn't get all fancy with the new AKAs. But you know me as Wild Mane, aka Ginger Snap, aka the Fumbling Dublin, aka Redbeard, even though I trimmed it a little. You know, we got one more co-host here with us today.
Who that is?
Tell us who you are, Logan.
This is Logan, aka Beer Main.
Beer Main?
Of course. I actually have a new AKA myself. I am officially Coach Carson to my boys.
Not Coach Carter.
No,
not Coach Carson.
Get it right. Because I do coach basketball now.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fun for my elementary school kids. But this is the Mixtape 615
socks on
podcast. Oh, I'm teaching them. I'm teaching them handling drills, which is
scary. Look at this.
I know.
Look at this.
Probably the worst person in the world to teach handling drills, but this is the Mixtape 615 podcast. We are brought to you by the Mixtape 615 supporter group, the dopest supporter group in all of Nashville, in all of soccer, in all of the world when it comes to all of us. Absolutely. We do want you to join us, just like Tunji was saying. We want you in the mix with us, and you can easily do that by going to mixtape615.com. That is mixtape615.com. And you can join in to our brand new season coming up with the 2024 season. Oh, yeah. Since our 2023 season is done, we got scarf on the way.
Thank God the 2023 season is done. Oh, my goodness.
We've got so much more coming this next season. I'm so excited to be sharing it with you guys. Jump into the mix by going to mixtape615.com, and you can join us there. You got a brand new supporter scarf coming out. We got brand new merch coming out soon.
Stickers. We got stickers.
Awesome. We got stickers, magnets, t-shirts, you name it. We've got it probably coming. We are excited to have that with you guys. We do want to thank you for joining us in the mix, and we are ready to kick this mix off with a little bit of a play, skip, repeat. Now, we've done a play, skip, repeat before, but this time it's going to be a little bit different, Tunji. It's going to be a little bit different, Austin, because I want you guys to not just give me your play, skip, repeats for this last game, which was at the time of recording 3 weeks ago. It has been a little bit of a time, but I really want us to talk about the season overall. I want us to talk about what you think and how you feel this entire season has gone for us when it comes to who you want to see more of, who you want to have play that you may have not seen as much this year, and who you want to completely skip or lose out on. And I know we've got a lot of guys that contracts are coming up. I know we got a lot of new guys that have come up and started playing really well in MLS Next Pro. I know some guys that have come in that have played some minutes, but we haven't really seen all that they have. So I got to know, Austin, who's your play, who's your skip, and who's your repeat?
All right. My play, I've said this one before, but I'm going to stick with it just because we're coming into a new season. We do have some people leaving with some contracts. Well, maybe leaving. We're not sure if we're going to pick them back up or not, but we do have some contracts expiring at the end of the year. So my play is going to be Mr. Joey Skinner. He's the boy down in Huntsville City. I want to see him maybe get an opportunity, whether it's US Open Cup, whether it's Leagues Cup, something like that. I want to see him get some more opportunities to actually make an impact in the MLS. He had a great first season with Huntsville City. He scored a few goals as a defender. He had some assists. Some of the goals that he had were pretty acrobatic goals too. So I'd like to see him get an opportunity. We'll see if he's got the push that is needed in the MLS. We'll see if he's actually got the energy, the drive, that killer instinct that you really need to have when playing at the next level. So that's my play. My skip, and this is a hard one because I've been a fan. I actually got to present this man with the man of the match record on the pitch during the opening match at Geodis Park. But I think I might have to skip Randall Leal.
Oof. Whoa. That's a wild Brutus stab to the back, bro. I really like this guy, but wow.
He is not on the pitch enough to warrant paying him as much as we are paying him. And when he is on the pitch, I think it might be just accumulation of all of the injuries that he's had, but he's lost a step. He is not putting goals on net, he's not putting balls on net. He's not. Every time he shoots it, it's wide left, wide right. It's skying it way over the net. His passes haven't been as accurate as they could be. He's turning the ball over in the midfield while we're carrying it up. We get an attack going, and he's just not playing at the same level that he has in the past. This year, he had the fewest minutes that he's had since he's been with the team. And so I'm just not seeing enough out of Randall Leal to warrant giving him another contract, because his contract does expire at the end of this season.
And I feel you, man. From a pure utilization standpoint, like that is definitely the obvious answer. Like if you're not playing and you're consistently hurt, then you're not playing and you're consistently hurt. Yeah. So I can't do anything with you.
We're wasting a roster spot. We're wasting money.
I don't want to say it like that. I don't want to say wasting a roster spot, because being injured is a tough thing when you're an athlete. But it's also just like, dude, man, like you give me no choice. And it's not you. This is just like the way fate aligns, bro. Like if you can't play, I need to have people playing. And look how dire our midfield situation is right now.
We don't even have an
adding to that, then I need to take you away from it. You know, that's it. Yeah. That's the situation that Nashville SC is in moving forward. If you're not adding to our midfield situation, then get out.
Yes.
So
I don't want to fault him necessarily with being injured. But I do want to talk. But
Logan
when he's injured multiple seasons.
Who would Logan fault for that?
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah,
the trainers.
He says his skip is probably get rid of all the trainers, probably.
Austin, I do want you to continue in with your repeat.
Yeah, let me hit my repeat. So my repeat, I want to see more Schaffelberg. Early in the season, he was on fire.
Dynamite. Absolutely.
I mean, he dealt with some injuries late, took some pretty heavy hits late in the season. But when he was on fire, prior to Leagues Cup, even in Leagues Cup, he looked good. He to me personally, him and Shaq Moore have the best cross into the box. He places the ball perfectly. And now that we've got Sam Surridge, if he can become more of that presence that we need him to be in the box, Schaffelberg's the man that's going to get it to him. So I want to see him play, and I want to see him play at the level that we saw earlier in the season.
I feel you. I hope you're right. I hope you're right, bro, because
Schaffelberg,
I think a lot of people
was probably the biggest compliment to our entire team.
Yeah, I'm just about to destroy all this optimism real quick here, bro.
I mean, no, he really was. He was the biggest. He was the biggest compliment.
He was a yeah, but I think we're looking at, like, if we look at the sheer numbers, and again, you know what? I see one side of the numbers, and I think y'all see another side, and I think we're both don't know the actual numbers, but y'all are seeing like a lot of his good passes and his good crosses. I see a lot of times when he just streaks up the field, has no idea where to go with the ball, and then just kicks it. And most of the time it hits maybe the first or second defender before it even gets in the box. I see that number, and you guys see like the ones where it actually hits somebody. So I would be, again, I'm not sure, you know, we've all been through the trauma of losing to Orlando at home. So we've tried to separate ourselves a little bit from the game, you know, but we're back in it. And again, from what I remember, I saw a lot of. I am a Schaffelberg fan. Don't get me wrong. I just want to see more strategy this year as opposed to sheer hustle that I see from him a lot, which is still great. But when you just kick the ball, and again, when you're crossing, and I just don't think he's as pinpoint of a passer as people claim he is.
So then, who is your play, skip, repeat? I think this is a perfect little transition. Yeah. Okay. Who, if you want to speak strategically, who are your strategic picks?
I want to save my play because it's a great play, and I'm gonna go straight. I'm gonna start with my skip.
Okay.
This was a tough one. It was between two players, Brian Anunga. Surprise, surprise. And Josh Bauer. Brian Anunga, the argument for him is that you know what, when you look at his numbers from 2020 to 2023, everything's decreased, including games played, right? So then that obviously has an effect on the rest of your stats compared to previous years. If you're just playing less games, less minutes, you're not going to put up as many stats unless you're just amazing, right? And you know, love Brian Anunga. He's an amazing person, an amazing soccer player. He's amazing in his own rights. Like, I love his hustle mentality. I love his defense in mind. But again, he's playing in that midfield. And when I look at most of his like passes, majority of his, like, when I say majority, I mean like 80% of his passes were backwards, right? What was our biggest problem last year?
I mean, we couldn't move the ball forward. Yeah.
Moving forward. Midfield.
We couldn't move it through the midfield.
We couldn't move it through. So when you have a guy, again, he is a defensive minded player. See, he really should be a back, honestly. I don't understand why he's playing
him and Shaq Moore.
We'll see. Shaq Moore is, we'll see. You know, I think Shaq Moore wants to be an
attacking defender.
I'm not sure if he is a mid, but I think he wants to be a mid. Exactly. It's the weirdest thing. But here's the thing. With Brian Anunga's most of his passes going backwards, his mid is decreasing. The only reason that he's still on this team is because Gary trusts him, and Gary trusts him for reasons that I don't know. Right? I'm not even gonna speculate at that. Now, Josh Bauer was in this conversation as well, but it was really just like when I looked, I was like, you know what? He didn't play last year.
Yeah.
He didn't play last year. He didn't play for Atlanta when he was with Atlanta United in 2021. So his only stats are from this year, and he didn't play a lot this year. But you know what? He had an 86% pass percentage, completion percentage. You know,
he's not passing backwards because
he's passing a little backwards, but
maybe a little
backwards. But
every now and then to Joe,
you know, but like, you know, his stats aren't that bad. Like, he won 65% of his duels, right? He had 11 interceptions. These are not bad stats. I have nothing to compare them to. So the obvious. So when you look at that, man, Brian Anunga is my skip. Love the man, but we got to get younger and we got to get more attacking minded mids. Yeah. Now, who do we repeat from last year? This is a good one, man. I was either going to go with Bunbury, Nick Depay, or Dan Lovitz. And all right, my repeat doesn't mean that the other two shouldn't be kept or repeated. But I'm going to tell you why Nick Depay is my repeat.
Really?
You didn't see him.
I need to know what I paid for. I need to know what I paid for. I want to know what I got, bro. You're not going to skate out of here getting injured before you even touch the pitch You're not gonna
We're
skate out
repeat
like
him
that. No,
on the
you're doing
bench
another
all
year.
year.
You're doing another year in NSC jail, buddy. You're gonna play defense for us. All right. You're gonna stay in formation.
That's the thing is we do need to see some defense.
And we need depth.
We
we need depth.
Defense. We need midfield.
We don't have depth in defense. We have zero midfield.
So keep Nick
agree
the Pie.
that needs to be addressed.
Repeat Nick the Pie. I agree 100%. I think you're talking to Ginger Snapper over there. So that's my repeat. Okay. All right.
So let's hear that play.
This is a young man. This is the story of a young man who I had to scour the depths of X to find footage of his so-called exploits.
Ooh.
This is a kid that I think has a lot of potential. And he's another Huntsville SC player. FC.
Okay.
Tyler Freeman.
Okay. Yeah.
Free Tyler Freeman from Huntsville jail and bring him up. What?
He's on our roster.
He might not be ready yet, but I'll tell you what, man, the kid has pizzazz. The kid has spunk. He's not scared of anything. It doesn't look like.
Yeah.
And he is, when we say attacking, I'm like, dude, this kid, like he has a certain, like I can tell just by the way he dribbles. Again, like when I was looking at our possibilities, who we could pull up, who we could sign.
Yeah.
I was just like, I kept seeing like stuff on the internet, just other people talking about like guys like this. And then someone mentioned Tyler Freeman. I was like, who is Tyler Freeman? And I forgot we signed him. And then I looked and I was like, holy crap, this kid's played in a lot of great places. Now he's with us. And on top of that, when I see his footage, which I had to go to his X profile to find, holy crap, it looks good. So let's play Tyler Freeman.
Great.
Yeah, let's play Tyler. Let's give Tyler Freeman one shot next year. If we don't like him, send him back. But give him one shot. I want to see more experimentation. Like if you can't get the production that you can get from your older guys, bring the younger guys up and see what happens.
Well, I mean, I think the younger guys are the future. I mean, we have to bring those guys up.
That's kids are the future, bro.
MLS Next Pro is. I mean, that really is it's our farm system to bring those guys up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to give my play skip repeat. I'll give you my play. Somebody I need to see more of, somebody I need to see a little bit better production of, and I think it's gonna show really well with the offseason and having a lot of good training days and time to get to meld in with the team a little more than he did was Sam Surridge. I want to see a lot more play from him. I want to see what he really can do with our team, with a little bit more time to get to know him and a little bit more time to get
healthy too.
I mean, y'all remember he came in August. I mean, late July, August. Like we barely got to see him, and yeah, he had some issues staying a little bit on the healthy side, along with the majority of our team this year. And that does lead me into the skip. We need a new training staff.
I mean, with the training staff. Leave the training staff alone.
No, I'm not going to leave them alone.
They are professionals.
They're professionals who are constantly getting our players hurt. I mean, again, they're not staying healthy in practice. They're not even staying healthy in practice. That's not okay.
Okay.
I mean, it really isn't. It's not okay to have a team that can't stay healthy in practice. And we have to have that. We have to have a healthy practice. We have to have a healthy squad leading into game days. Otherwise, it's impossible for us to win. I mean, and we saw it, especially late in the season. We saw it when it came to the depth and who we had. We had almost nobody when it came to Lucas McNaughton getting hurt in practice, re-injuring himself in practice, and then Walker Zimmerman having his struggles that he had towards the end of the year. We had nobody in the back line that could really, truly hold up. And it was scary. Like, that was so nerve-wracking. And you saw Joe giving up goals left and right. I mean, we won 1 out of our last 5 games in the regular season. 1. Yeah. So we do need to make sure that we hit that. We've got to make sure that we are skipping that and getting new trainers. We have to hire a training staff who's going to look to keep our boys healthy, period.
I think there's just so much that goes into that, man. I think it's down to diet, down to like, Yeah, I think it's more than what they're willing to invest.
But that's honestly. The thing is, it has to do with our training, and it all has to do with starting from the bottom, training up. We've got to have better trainers. Now, as far as my repeat from last year, I want another repeat. And granted, he had a lot harder time towards the end of the season, but I want a repeat of another amazing season from Hani Mukhtar. I know we have relied heavy on him, but he's got another year in the contract. I want to see him go just lights out, full speed running, like completely out of his mind, crazy to stay here in Nashville and to win that golden boot back that our boy deserves. Our boy earned hard last year. He's only the eighth player in league history to do what he did last year. He's only the eighth player in league history to put up 15 or more goals in 3 consecutive seasons. It's amazing what he can do. I truly do believe that he is going to be an amazing 10 to rely on. And I know he's kind of a faux 9, a faux 10, but if we have Sam Surge in there, he can truly dedicate himself to that center midfield who can lead our team out and truly make things happen. So that's my play. That's my skip. That's my repeat. I'm excited for what we have going on for next year. And that is something that we do need to talk about, and we will right after the break. We need to talk about where do we go from here and what our future looks like when it comes to our team, our boys in gold, Nashville SC. We're going to talk about that right after the break.
Volunteers of Mixtape 615, assemble! Let's make a difference in the lives of young readers. Starting October 20th, we are partnering with My Brother's Keeper on their Rise, Read, Lead event. It is a fantastic reading mentoring program focused on elementary schools. The program is designed to shape young minds, boost confidence, and set kids on the path to success. And we want to see you there. Literacy is liberation. If you want more information, go to our Instagram, Mixtape615, and you'll see the flyers posted there.
All right. Welcome back to the Mixtape 615 podcast, brought to you by Mixtape 615 Supporters Group. We are here. We are talking about Nashville SC. The season is over. Where do we go from here? We're going to talk about what it looks like for contracts, what it looks like for coaching, what it looks like for the MLS draft. We're going to discuss a few of these things. So I'm going to kick it over to Tunji. I want to talk to you real quick about some contracts that we have expiring at the end of 2023. So we've got
quite a few.
Randall Leal. We've got Anibal Godoy.
Okay.
We've got Dax McCarty.
Yep.
And we got Fafa Pico. Maybe a couple more, but I wanted to
Joe
focus
Willis.
on these. Joe Willis.
Big Joe Willie.
Up at the end of the year.
Yeah. Joe Willis's contract is up this year.
So we've got these big names. And with those names that you just heard, are there any right there that you were like, we have to re-sign them? Let's keep this player. Or are you ready and willing to get rid of them and sign some new players?
All of them? No, I wouldn't let go of. I wouldn't just let go of Joe Willis. I know I bagged him a lot. I know I'm Team Panico, but here's I'm just gonna say
he did put up, I think, the best of his career this past season.
No, the reality is he had less goals scored on him than any other goalie in the MLS this last year.
Exactly, and I wanted less. So like, you know what I mean? That was really just because the offense couldn't score more. So you know what I mean? That was the reason for it. And again, I know I bagged on Joe Willie all season. I bagged and I was shouting Team Panico, but I'm thinking ahead. I don't think Joe Willie's time is up. I think there's definitely more that he can do. I definitely think that, like, hey, let's see a little bit more of a balance maybe between the two. And if that doesn't work, fine. You know, let's just ride Joe Willis until the wheels come off. That is a legendary.
Until the Willis come off.
Until the Willis comes off. There it is. But yeah, I mean, that's just like you don't. It's like the Titans trying to move on from this is some more Tennessee talk. It's like the Titans trying to move on from Derrick Henry. I'm like, no,
you can't get rid of King Henry.
Don't do that, bro. Yeah, I will riot.
Arguably the best running back in the league
in the history, like in the history of the sport, one of the best. He's starting to be in that. If he could just be on a team that this isn't the Titans. podcast.
I mean, yeah.
This ain't a Titans podcast. I don't want to go there.
Maybe we'll do Titans talk one other podcast.
one other day when it's not so dreary to be a Titans fan.
Talk. Yeah.
But yeah, Joe Willis. Who are the other names you gave me?
Randall Leal, Annabelle Godoy, Dax McCarty, Fafa Pico.
It's hard to move on from Pico.
Fafa.
You do want to re-sign.
Fafa. You got to re-sign Fafa and Joe. If you're giving me like this hard, the other three, I'm just like, you know what? Like, yeah, Dax can still play probably, but like, I think he'd be, you know, Dax can definitely still play. Dax is great.
Dax should move into that.
If Dax wants to retire, he should retire, right?
I think he should move into that assistant coach job that we just had free up.
Yeah, just had vacate. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think we keep, if we can keep Dax, sure, but I don't think he's in the locker room.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But the other guys, let them go, man. Let it go. All right, let us finally stop being this team that relies on maturity in the locker room, and let's get a little buck wild. Let's get some youngsters in there and see what they do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I talked about expiring contracts. Now I want to talk about some contracts with you, Logan, that we've got through 2025. We've got Walker Zimmerman, we've got Hani Mukhtar. Got Sam Surridge. He's actually through to 2026 with the club option to pick up 2027. We've got Schaffelberg. He's through to 2026. And then we've also got Sean Davis, who's through to 2025. Now, with those players that we have, that's kind of our core that we've got, you know, for the remainder of Gary's contract, at least, because Gary's, you know, also we extended him earlier this season through to 2025. So with the roster that we have, with those how many was that? Five players through to 2025, 2026. Do you think those players will still be around in 2025? Do you think that we need to use those contracts to trade for anybody while these players are still in their prime?
Yes. There are two players on that list that I 100% would trade for either younger options for longer contracts or cheaper options that are just as good. Because there are a few out there that are just as good in a back line that are a cheaper option than Walker Zimmerman. I love Walker. Y'all know that.
Taking up a DP spot that doesn't make sense.
He is taking up a DP spot for us. His contract is more expensive than any other player on our team outside of Hani Mukhtar. We could easily use that as a trade. Same with Sean Davis. Sean Davis is one of the more expensive contracts that we have. And to be fair, he's a great player. He's a good mentor. If he can take over the Dak, or the Dax McCarty spot, if you will, I'm fine with that. But I don't know if he has won the locker room over as much as Dax McCarty had. And so
no way. There's no way.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So he can't really be that captain, that core person we can rely on. And Walker has been somebody that we can rely on, but we need another Dax McCarty leader in that locker room. And I don't think either of those guys can take that spot over. So I would trade both of those players in for somebody who is just as good or plays just as well in a position that we can find somebody to take one of those spots in. I mean, we could bring a DP in from Europe. We could bring a DP in from La Liga to make good money here, especially now with the guys coming over from Europe, coming into New York Rebels, coming into Miami, Inter Miami. But we're seeing
let's talk about Miami. How many DP spots do they have?
Yeah, that's the question.
Figure that out.
They have the same
as everybody.
Yeah, for the
same as everybody.
They have the same as everybody else. It's a league of parody. But look, I get it, man.
But that's
Logan,
the thing, though. I get it, man. We have the ability to bring. With Nashville, especially with how popular Nashville's been becoming. It's fine
bringing over people, but we're not talking about the main issue, bro. We're not talking about what we just lost in this season. We lost our offense, dude. We did not improve at offense. So we can talk about bringing in DPs and having more DPs, but if you're not talking to me about how we're going to get more goals
that's where that money comes
balls in the back of the net, that's what I want to talk about, bro.
Because where are the majority of our contracts that are ending? They're almost all in the midfield. We have one of the oldest midfields. We have the oldest squad when it comes to age out of all MLS
all
teams.
of the 4 outside of Joe Willis are all in the midfield.
And that's what I'm saying. Our age when it comes to our midfield, our age when it comes to our back line, we're old. We're old. We need younger guys in. We need stronger guys in that are coming in with a fire in their belly to truly light this place up. We need it.
Yeah.
We have to have that. And getting those spots out, because with age does come higher pay. I understand that. But we can move some of those guys along.
So to touch on
trade them in and get what we need.
Yeah, to touch on Tunji's point.
But what is it? That's what I'm talking about. You're not talking
offense.
about. Hold on. You're not talking about what we need.
Look, our offense is not what we need. We need a strong core mid,
and that's what a strong core mid. But why?
That's where that money is going to come in.
I know, but why? Because this is what people don't understand, bro. When I say the offense was bad, I'm not just saying, oh, we couldn't score goals. Shout out to Chris Ivey, Broadway Sports Media. Great article, Nashville by the Numbers. Go read that. 433. Those were the shots that we took from live ball passes. So you remember how we earlier were talking about we're a set piece and we have relied and pretty much lived and died by Hani Mukhtar's foot. We've lived and died by Hani Mukhtar's foot and by the set pieces. Here's what that looks like on the other side. 433 shots taken from live ball passes. What does that mean? Well, when the ball was live, and that's how many shots we took. Now, what does that actually represent? Well, we're second to last in that area in MLS. Who's behind us? FC Dallas. And they're still a more interesting offensive team to watch than us, dude. So
they play that high press, high counter.
Yeah, I mean, because they got Ferreira.
Yeah, theirs is insane. And
but they're also creating more attacking opportunities, right? Yeah. They're creating more attacking opportunities. So I knew when I saw this playoff format, even though I was a fan of the playoff format, I knew what was going to happen. I said this is a format built for teams who score, teams who put an emphasis on putting the ball in the back of the net, and that's not who we are. We converted 9.9% of our total shots taken. Now that might be
what was Hani's final goal? What were Hani's final goals? Did he have 16?
I'm done with last year, bro.
I'm trying to remember because I did see a stat that he had like 49 on net.
Probably.
And only had like, 16, 17 goals total.
Maybe, man. Like I said, bro, that's the end of last season was so draining that it's taking a lot out of me just to even that's why I'm only focusing on what we need, and we need depth that can increase our output in front of the goal. Yep. Simple and plain. If you're not talking to me about that, I don't want to talk about anything else.
I got one more question I'm just going to pose to both of you. We'll start with you, Tunji. We've got those players that are through to 2025. Also, Gary Smith is through to 2025. Is this a team, or is this a core that can get us to, say, a conference final? Not even an MLS final.
Oh, man. A conference final?
Here, I'll help you out.
There it is. Which core are you talking about, man? Because I think, again, we just said blow up the midfield. I said blow up the midfield. I don't know if that's what y'all
said. The midfield are all out of contract, basically.
Exactly. So then you have Sam Surge.
So the core that we've got is Sam Surge, Hani Mukhtar, Jacob Schaffelberg, and then you've got Walker Zimmerman and Sean Davis. Would you say that those five are a strong core to build around? And do you think that Gary is the coach to get us there?
Yes to the second question. I'm a Gary stan. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
All right. That's who I am. Those five, maybe, but actually, you know what? No, you need a strong center mid in there. You need a strong someone in the middle who can facilitate, who can hold up play, who can push forward when needed. We don't have that. That's what we need. Without that, I'm not gonna put my eggs in that basket, bro.
All right, Logan, same question. Do you think that this is a core and Gary is a coach to get us there?
I think it's a core that is a start. I don't think it is the core that could get us there. We're definitely missing some players. We're definitely missing some attitude positions. A lot of that could really round us out in that core. I tend to lean towards Tunji on that when it comes to the second question. Is Gary the coach to get us there? I think with the right people, Gary could easily lead this team. I mean, we saw him lead them to the Leagues Cup final. Yeah. I think he easily could lead us to an MLS Cup final.
Right. Yeah.
It's just a matter of whether we have the right people around us or not.
I mean, we're just gonna sign like Jude Bellingham next year, and and then put him back there, and put him in the mid, and we'll be fine.
We'll get it.
Keep
all we have to do. That's all we have to do.
We'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
All right. I mean, well, sorry. Go ahead, Tunji. Final thought.
You got it, brother. No final thoughts. Sign Jude Bellingham.
All right. That's kind of thought. There we go. Well, those are some good takes. Where do we go from here? That is the question. We'll see what happens in this off season. Coming up right after the break, we're going to be talking about our boy Hani Mukhtar. We just talked about his contract is going up, but he is the MVP no more. But we are going to talk about some of his best moments leading up to where he got the MVP and what happened since then. So we'll talk about that.
We're gonna help you cope. We're gonna help you cope.
Yeah, we're gonna help you cope right after the break. We'll see you then.
Volunteers of Mixtape 615, assemble! Let's make a difference in the lives of young readers. Starting October 20th, we are partnering with My Brother's Keeper on their Rise, Read, Lead event. It is a fantastic reading mentoring program focused on elementary schools. The program is designed to shape young minds, boost confidence, and set kids on the path to success. And we want to see you there. Literacy is liberation. If you want more information, go to our Instagram, Mixtape615, and you'll see the flyers posted there. We knew this time would come. We knew it couldn't last forever. All good things must come to an end.
It's so hard to say goodbye. Hopefully copyright don't come after us.
No. But guys, man, we officially don't get to yell MVP in Geodis every time Hani Mukhtar scores. Oof. We still can do it. But it doesn't hit as hard when it
doesn't mean the same thing.
It doesn't mean the same thing now.
We could be like former MVP. MVP.
Acosta officially has the MVP.
Let me tell you something, man. When he scored in that game, Cincinnati against who they play, Philly, in the playoffs, it was a couple days ago. Yeah, that was a wild match.
Yeah, 90.
Was that him? I don't remember.
I just know when he scored and I heard, or even when he just touched the ball and I heard them chanting MVP. First off, it was like a double whammy, right? Because it's like, oh no, that used to be us. And then it was like, oh no, that's FC Cincinnati, our eternal rivals. You know what I mean? Like
eternal rivals,
eternal rivals, bro. That might
be old head
rivals. That might be Orlando now, honestly. But like, anyways, man, it was honestly one of the hardest things for me. And this is real talk right now, guys. After the way our season ended, I struggled, man. I was sitting in the bathtub with the shower head on and my clothes fully on and my MF Doom mask just being like, what? I was like, what happened to our amazing season? You know,
we were doing so good in Leagues Cup.
Yeah, we were one of the best.
We were able to hold Messi to one goal in 2 games,
and then it just came to it all came crashing down.
Yeah, man.
But with that said, we still have witnessed and will witness more of one of the best players to play in America, one of the best players to play in the sport. Hani Mukhtar doesn't just happen, right? And for some reason, the soccer gods aligned it. They willed it to bring us Hani Mukhtar to Nashville, Tennessee, when people weren't even sure that soccer would work here. And we got to witness what we witnessed. So with that said, he's still an MVP in our hearts. Always will be. probably one of the greatest Nashville athletes stories just in general that we'll be talking about him for years to come. I want to talk about his MVP moments, some of the moments that really hit hard for all of us. I'm gonna just lead it off. And my moment, and this is easy hanging fruit, baby, but I'm taking it, dude. Hani Mukhtar walking out of the tunnel in Geodis Park at the Leagues Cup Finals after we booed Messi.
Oh yeah.
And Hani Mukhtar walks out to the loudest chant of MVP that I have ever been a part of, dude.
Oh,
right?
With Messi walking beside him.
Yeah.
All of us yelling MVP
Messi's
for
over here
Hani
like,
Mukhtar.
I thought I was the best player in the world. He was confused. And let me tell you something. That means what I said means a lot, right? Because you guys all know I used to live in the Bay Area. I was there when the Warriors were on their run, and I've been to playoff matches, right? I've heard the way that they people literally faint when they saw Steph Curry back then. It was ridiculous. Oh, yeah. But look, that was a moment, and it made headlines too. Like Taylor Twellman was talking about it. Just like the sports pundits were talking about how Hani was like, how we showed out for Hani Mukhtar. There was that one reporter,
Landon Donovan said it.
Landon Donovan, Landon Donovan. There was that one where we even got into a whole Twitter beef with like the Nashville SC Twitter community. Got into a whole beef with a reporter about that moment because she was telling us that we can't boo Messi. And we were like, oh, we can boo Messi. And we let the whole world know. That was the moment.
He's an opposing team player. Look, like, regardless of whether he's the best player in the world or not, he's an opposing team player. And look at everybody in Europe that did it to him. Look at everybody in the World Cup that does it to him every year when he's in there, or every 4 years when he's there. Look at every year in CONCACAF when they play.
People aren't going to take you seriously
or as Argentina.
They're not going to take you. You're not going to be a serious soccer community if you're just out here cheering on your opponent. That does not compute for me. All right,
no, not at all.
But look, man, that was a moment, you know what I mean, and you had to be there to just experience it. That was an MVP moment for sure, and he didn't even have to score. He just had to. He came with his resume, dude. Yeah. Logan, what was your favorite? What was your favorite Hani Mukhtar MVP moment?
Man, MVP moment. Like last year, obviously, was an insane year for him. 23 goals, 11 assists. This year, a little bit less than goals. He had 15 goals at the end of the year.
Which is still good.
Which is still amazing.
Yeah.
But my MVP moment, man, I mean, it's got to be his June hat trick at home.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. I mean, truly amazing. That was one of the best I've ever seen when it came to what he did. And that was, right at peak time for Hani. Yeah, it was against St. Louis. It's their first time ever here.
Yeah.
And showed out hard.
Welcome to the block.
Yeah, he said, welcome.
Man, that's definitely a big MLS moment. Another one is honestly, it wasn't the belt clinching moment, if you will, but it felt like the belt clinching moment when we were playing for the Southern Championship belt here in Nashville against Atlanta.
We beat him 3-1,
and we beat them 3-1. And he comes over, grabs the belt, puts it on his shoulder, and gives his salute. And that was just
classic,
iconic.
Yeah,
MVP moment, showing out, showing his love for the belt. Like making sure that they knew we own this and we own you.
Yeah.
Tell them. Love it, bro. Love it, man.
That's those have got to be my MVP moments, man. Just
those are the heavy hitters.
The sheer confidence he has as a player. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's again, if you haven't been to Geodis, if you haven't seen Nashville SC, this is the only reason you need. There's tons of other reasons. But this is the only reason you need to go to Geodis, because sooner or later, Hani Mukhtar is going to show out, and you better hope you're in the seats. You better hope you're in the supporter section when he does, because you're going to remember that moment for the rest of your life. Speaking of which, Austin, what you got? What are you remembering for the rest of your life about Hani Mukhtar's amazing form?
And I'm just his ball handling skills, making people look silly. He had one goal in Leagues Cup where it was late in the match up against Minnesota, I believe, where he just roofs it like right in front of the goalie and just hammers it like a strike that I've not seen, that an impossible angle, and just hammers it right to the top of the net. That was unreal. One of my others was actually earlier in the season when Miami was in Geodis, where he has this play, kind of like fakes it one way and gives the dude the hip check where he like flips around real quick. If you know, you know exactly the play that I'm talking about.
He caught him
lacking. There watching.
He caught him lacking for like, sure.
I mean, like
where the MLS basically buried the guy
back and shifting his weight back and forth, making the dude look silly, and then goes and either gets the assist or scores the goal. I don't remember after that. I was still in awe of the move.
Dude, you know, Hani Mukhtar is a mean merengue or bachata, like salsa dancer. You know he is, bro.
Oh, easily.
You know, those hips don't lie, bro.
No, and we saw it there and making dudes look silly. So just watching him go and the confidence that he has when there are 2 or 3 guys in front of him, he's got no fear. He's like, I'm going to take it. Sometimes, we wish you would pass, but other times we get the MVP moments,
he's got no fear. And also for a good part of this year, he had no help. So he was like, it's me against the world, baby.
No fear, no help. This is what's happening.
No. He's a renegade for sure, man. But that's the guy, bro. That's why it hurts us to just, I don't want to relinquish it, but them's are the breaks. You know what I mean? Like you don't get to hold on to these things, but when they come around, when they come to your town, when you see greatness, you just got to respect it. And Hani Mukhtar is greatness, and he is. I really hope that he's gonna be here throughout his career, and as we grow, as we become a better, stronger organization. I want to see him with us for the rest of his career. If he goes somewhere else and has a better time, then so be it. But like I said, man, greatness, you got to respect it when you see it.
If Schaffelberg can stay healthy, if he and Sam Surridge can create some chemistry, we might see another MVP season from Hani.
I mean,
because
dude,
he's going to come alive. He's got.
You think he's got another one? You think he's got another one?
He's got somebody who can draw some attention away from him.
Yeah,
Sam Surridge, where I think Hani's going to Hani.
Dude, I want that. Again, with your optimism, bro. I'm
not saying it might not be MVP, but I think we're gonna see him back at the same form, if not better, next year.
I mean,
I hope so, bro. I hope so. But this is,
I mean, he's only 28. I know it's kind of old for soccer in some ways, but like, dude, he's got several years.
He's 35.
Fafa's sitting here at 33.
Yeah, and he had a year.
He had a lights out year this year too, with the way that he played. I mean, he's easily got some years on him.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. No, he could. I just hope they're with Nashville SC. Simple and plain.
Yeah, exactly.
But guys, I think that's probably it, man. Happy to be back in the saddle, baby. Sorry that we left y'all hanging for too long. I said I wouldn't apologize, but that's just who I am, man. We hate to let y'all down, man.
I'm not sorry.
We love the listeners, bro.
We needed a little bit of break.
We all did.
I think we needed that little bit of breather.
We had to do some healing after
we get that crying out.
We actually did do a group therapy where what did we do? We all just sat and watched like the Titanic and like
Dirty Dancing.
We all watched Old Yeller.
It was a lot like the Titanic was a lot like our season. I think that's why we chose that movie.
That's why we watched this.
No one can sink this boat, and then
it's the thing that killed DiCaprio.
To the iceberg, bro.
Yeah. Never let go, Jack, as I lift your hands and force you down in the water. Yeah, it was a rough one, man. But absolutely. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of the Mixtape 615 podcast. Boom. You can follow us all. Absolutely.
Is that episode 9?
This is 8 or 9.
I think we're at 9.
Yeah, we're getting close to double digits for sure.
Good job, y'all.
Thank you guys for joining us. If you do want to jump in, and we do want you to jump in to Mixtape as a supporter group, join us at mixtape615.com. Again, that is mixtape615.com. You can join us as an individual or a family membership, get your membership scars for the beginning of the season next year, as well as all the awesome perks when it comes to tailgate, watch party, all of that. We do also want to make sure that you follow us on all of our Instagram, Twitter, X, Facebook, it is at Mixtape 615. And you can also watch this podcast if you're listening to it on all of your Apple, Spotify, wherever. You can actually watch this podcast on YouTube as well at Mixtape 615 Pod. That is Mixtape 615 POD. So youtube.com/Mixtape 615 Pod. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode. Could not do it without my co-host Tunji. Could not do it without my co-host Austin. And definitely a big shout out to our producer, the one and only Doug Branson. Thank you so much. You are the true MVP of our podcast. We are excited to have us back. We're going to see you guys at the next episode. And until then, this is Mixtape 615 signing off.